I'm better at English than maths. Like I've always just been an Englishy person over a maths person. I don't know what it is. Like maybe some genetic thing, but maths has never been my forte. English has usually been a forte. So like because that's kind of like because like there'll be times with my dad I do my maths homework right. I do my maths homework and I do that stuff and I wouldn't really get it. Like I was really good at my timetables. I was really good at my timetables and figuring out one times one, one times one, one times two, um, one times three, and then all of that. And I was really good at that. I was like able to do it. Like that's probably that's probably like the best thing I was good at in terms of maths. But
Hello everyone and welcome back to the James Rambling Show, coming at you live on Friday night. Tonight's your host, James Bay.
hello, welcome back to the James Rambling Show. Yet another episode of this podcast. So this week, I'm actually gonna dive into like primary school stuff. So like to do with like actual school, because nursery is just like preschool, so it's like school before you actually get into school and you learn about maths, like actual maths and all of that stuff. And obviously I did the Hobbit, like the Hobbit and the Spencer Journey Review, that kind of stuff. But yeah, primary school is it was like primary 1 to primary 7 was the what primary school was. Like you just had like 7 years at school and all that. Well, in this case for me it was 6 years, because I moved to New Zealand, and like because I started primary school like 2012 or something, and then or 2011, and then like I ended it in like 2017. So because I had to leave for New Zealand and that stuff. So yeah. But yeah, so I'll dive into basically like what primary school was like for me, how I did at school, what I was good at, all that kind of stuff. So and I'll describe the school, and I'll just go into the school itself and that sort of stuff. So the primary school that I actually went to was Ballarat Primary School, which is actually like one of the biggest primary schools in my area, because it was like really big. A lot of students went there. The school is actually like it used to be an abandoned hospital, which is quite crazy, because you'd think, what, like, a school is a learning area, like a learning space and all this stuff. But like you just like with this school, it's actually used to be, it was an abandoned hospital, and they built like this school type thing over it and that kind of stuff. And yeah, that like the first like Ballarat Primary has been around for ages, I think. But yeah, like they have like a uniform, like if you wear your school uniform and like that. Yeah, that's kind of what I wore, and I actually wore glasses, like I said. Like I wore glasses for the first year or so of my primary school, whatever, that kind of stuff. I went to primary school with my sister. She wasn't in the same classes as me, but she was there at the primary school, at the school, you know what I mean? So like we would actually kind of like hang out together and all that stuff, and that kind of thing in primary school. Right, the thing is with primary school is there's like when you go, like the classes, like there's different, like I don't think it says, I don't remember it being like multi choice like high school, where you can choose maths, English, you can go for history or like these other subjects. I think primary school you just had maths, English, a little bit about the Bible as well, that kind of stuff. It wasn't just like, it wasn't really like, not these complex ideas really. and there was like learning about the planets and that kind of stuff. So what was I actually good at in primary school? To be honest with you, right, in primary school, I was probably better off. I was better at maths. Or not maths. I was better at I'm better at English than maths. Like I've always just been an Englishy person over a maths person. I don't know what it is. Like maybe some genetic thing, but maths has never been my forte. English has usually been a forte. So like because that's kind of like because like there'll be times with my dad I'd do my maths homework, right. I'd do my maths homework and I'd do that stuff and I wouldn't really get it, like I was really good at my timetables. I was really good at my timetables and figuring out, one times one, one times one, one times two, one times three, and then all of that. And I was really good at that. I was like able to do it. Like I was probably that's probably like the best thing I was good at in terms of maths. But I wasn't really good at equations, if you know what I mean. So like, I wouldn't be able to do. I know like 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16, 16 plus 16 is 32, 32 plus 32 is 64, 64 plus 64 is 128 or something like that. Right, so, but yeah, I've just not really been that good at maths. I don't know what it is, it's just a genetical, I don't really know. Like, it's just like, I don't know what, yeah, like I said, I don't really know why I'm not that good at maths. Maybe it's just like, just not for me, because there's people who are actually good at maths, and they suck at English, or they're good at English but they suck at maths, that kind of stuff. So maths and English and all that, you have that stuff, that, and then like, the teachers as well, like how were my teachers, like the teachers at my primary school, they were alright, because like, there was this like, I remember like this one teacher, Mr. Hart, who was like one of my favourite teachers. Like, there's this English guy and he's really into the Beatles, and he made us like, we had to sing songs and all that. Like that was a thing in primary school, right? You had to sing these songs and practice them. And he was into Oasis as well, like Wonderwall, like that song. Like he was really into those songs, right? Like you'll notice that I've mentioned music a few times, but it is like a prominent thing in life. Music is a big thing. But yeah, the teacher taught us about music, because that was another thing as well. Like there's Mr. Hart, and then the other, that was my primary 4 teacher though. My primary 1 or 2 teacher, I don't really remember them. Primary 3 I don't remember. Primary 5 I think was Mrs. Smith, right? She was like primary 5 and 6 was Mrs. Smith, and then primary 7 was Mrs. Harrison, right? Those are my other teachers, right? So I've had female and male teachers, and like, there was this one teacher, I forgot her name, but she was really weird, right? She's like really all about the flute, like that flute thing, you just go like this stuff, right? She was like really into that stuff. So you better learn this, you better learn this, you better learn this, you better learn this. And that's what some teachers do that, where they just say to you, you better learn this, you better learn this, right? And they get really strict and all that. And this teacher I'm talking about was actually really into like, these like musicals and these like dramatic plays, and like she showed us these plays in class, right? Like she showed us like the Romeo and Juliet and all this stuff, and she was like really into it. It was really weird. I don't really know, man. It's just like crazy stuff right there. So like that's like some of my teachers, and yeah, that there can be some strange teacher times. Actually, there's Mrs. Butterfield as well, which I did, like she had this whole collection of butter, which was interesting. But she was alright as well, right? And also, right, the teachers make you read books as well. Like that was one big thing in primary. They made you read books and talk about books. But I don't think they made you write an essay like in high school. They never made you write an essay in high school. Or it was nothing like that, right? They never told you to write a fully fledged, like a fully a fully fledged like kind of essay where you know you would be doing like some actual like you write an entire 500 words or something about this thing, this text, right? Like we might have had to talk about like a book and what it meant, but you know you didn't have to do this in-depth analysis, you know, sort of thing, because obviously you know primary school students, they're different because they just like they're younger students, so they won't understand things a lot. But yeah, that's kind of like how that's kind of so you've kind of understood that I was never really good at maths, kind of an English person, and I know I've been into books as well, so that kind of helps it. And that kind of stuff. Yeah, I would say the subjects and all of that stuff. You know, actually like the school itself is like I liked it and I made it. I actually had I had a few friends there as well. Like Ben and Lee from I had them on the show, but Ben and Lee were actually like one of my best friends at that school. There's also Dean, so another friend of mine. There's like Ben. There's that other bit. There was actually another Ben called Ben Walker, but as a joke, we actually used to call him Ben Skywalker as well. There was a few for Lenin, not the dictator, but Lenin was a guy as well, another person. Sophie, Lewis, John Bambrick. There was a few people that I knew. You know, I was really good friends with them. Right, you know, there was that stuff, but like in the classrooms I was in, right, they were actually like some class clowns. So basically, what this means is like a class clown is usually when a student just like absolutely just wants to be funny and impress the class and show off, like try to like be rude to the teacher. That because there actually is like chatterboxes, like so teacher says, stop being a chatterbox, get on with the work, stop being a chatterbox, get on with the work, which basically means that like you shouldn't be talking while the teacher's talking. Like, I mean that makes sense. Like, if somebody's talking, you don't want to interrupt them because they want to finish their point, get their point across, and that kind of thing. So it was interesting just knowing how, well not interesting, but it was just kind of odd how, you know, you had all these class clowns, but that's kind of a common thing because a lot of schools, like a few schools, like obviously at primary school, you're gonna have people that are gonna just annoy the class because that's who people are. So people just want to be funny and be idiots because they don't really know what they're doing at the time and that kind of stuff. So that's it for like the classes like that. I mean, I did say there was like the religious stuff, but we just learned about how Easter and how Jesus like got reincarnated, and then we had to do this actual thing where we had to sing the like Bible songs or the Bible song that like Mary, Joseph, and Jesus and all that. They dressed up as these the when you say characters from the Bible, you dress up as characters from the Bible, whatever. Go on the stage, you sing and perform. And that kind of stuff. So sorry if I can rub my nose and shit. I don't know. Yeah, I just have bad hay fever. But yeah. So we had to perform in front of these people and all that. Like do all these performances and that stuff. So like yeah, that was interesting. Actually, there's another thing in primary school that I actually learned. It was I think it was like sex ed was another thing. So we had maths, we had English, we had all of that stuff, right? We had maths, English, reading, all of that, common knowledge, stuff like that. But like, oh shit, my nose was real bad today. But like, yeah, we did sex ed. Basically, that's sexual education. So we learned how to make babies, body parts, and all of that, right? Which was actually like to us, I actually thought it was really weird at the time. It's like, what the hell? This is how you make babies, right? Like this is how you make babies, right? Because like when you think about it, right, you know, you'd think that, you know, you make babies by, I'm trying to remember like how I thought you'd make babies out. I don't think it was due to the whole thing, right? I thought it was actually something to do like how it'd come out of the belly or something. I think that was a thing. Like some people like, oh, tell you about babies. The baby obviously comes out the belly. He goes, bleh, bleh. But no, it was like the women's part of it. But yeah, we kind of just learnt about that at school. There's a few things. They wanted to teach us that, but obviously that wasn't in primary 1 or 2. I think that was primary 5 or 6 or something like that. Yeah, because I think my sister actually learnt sexual education when she was like really young. Which is kind of weird if you want, like, I'd understand if it was in primary 5 or primary 6 or primary 4 even. But primary 1 or 2 or 3 is stretching it a little bit there. So yeah, man, that's it for the subjects, the teachers, the what I was good at and all that, and like my friends and all that. Well, I forgot to mention, well I didn't forget to mention, I'm going to mention, I actually got bullied a lot in that primary school. So bullying is actually a big thing in primary schools. So like I got bullied, basically I'm trying to explain that as where people basically make fun of you, and they, you know, I just like there's times when I'd be like punched, or not necessarily punched, but like I'd just be made fun of for the way I am and stuff. Like be called nicknames. You know, there's this one time where I got tripped over in the concrete in my school and stuff like that. It was really annoying. So it was like all that stuff. And like there was this one guy in my school. He was annoying as shit because like his name's Daniel, and basically what he did to me, right, was made fun of me, did all of that, right? But he did stuff to me outside of school as well. It's like, I'm not saying he abused me or anything like that, but the guy literally, you know, the guy basically bullied me. So I used to go down to this park right near my house, just have a fun time, and then he was like, oh. He put basically what he did, I think he put my jacket in the bin, all of this stuff, and then like the guy said, oh, can I piss on your windows or something? It was like, and I said F off because I never used to say the full FUCKOFF, right? I never used to say that, right? I don't do that anyways, I do it occasionally, I guess. But like basically he did that, right? And when I said no or F off, whatever, came over to me and he just punched me, and he just, because I was trying to get home, right? And the guy just bet me up, and it was just annoying. Like it was really annoying dealing with bullies a lot. I never wanted to be bullied, but it just happened. It just so happened to be anyway. So it was really annoying. It really was. So like there's bullying. We learnt about. I forgot about that. Anti-bullying was a big topic in schools. Right at the school I was at, because they learnt how to deal with it online and all that, and you know, blackmailing, all that kind of stuff. And then there was like the road safety stuff where they chose, make sure you don't get hit by a car. That kind of stuff is kind of like, primary school was basically just, you just learnt all this basic stuff that they're teaching you. And then there's like the space, there's like the space stuff as well, like the planets. Like I actually remembering all the planets. There's like this song, like Jupiter, Mars, Venus, the Earth, and it was like that. But I was a child, I was like kind of into these things. Like, but like primary school, I was just like kind of you know, I had a few friends, met people along the way, you know, that kind of stuff. It's kind of a generic story, a generic sort of tale, because, or a way of telling stories, because, you know, it's common for somebody to get bullied, somebody to be sucking at maths, or, you know, because not everyone is actually good at everything, so it's obvious that, you know, you're gonna have people who aren't gonna be as smart as someone else. So like yeah. bully. That is it, I guess, because so yeah, like primary school was an interesting little adventure. Right, I was there. I was there for, like I said, 6 or 7 years. I didn't actually finish primary 7 because I went to Scotland. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to check us out on Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, and all of that stuff. So, without further ado, I'm just gonna end it there. Sorry for the freaking hay fever and all that stuff. But after this, I'm gonna do my other. I'm gonna touch on the school, like because I said I moved to New Zealand after primary 7. What I'll do is I will actually I'll actually do an episode about the school I went to in New Zealand, and then I'll do the high school, because the first school I went to in New Zealand wasn't actually a high school, but that's pretty much it. I said I was going to end it, but you know. See you next week. There's no guest on this week either. Yeah. I don't know why that is. Just like, you know, just some people didn't want to come on, and there was just like a different reason for it and all that stuff. So yeah. See you next week. Kind of dragged it out a little bit. Bye.